Coach Bev. I am an education and parental guidance coach. I coach you as you help your children obtain their goals using the knowledge and skills that I have obtained through being a parent and veteran educator. Today, we are going to discuss the community knows your name. Yes, educators, if you are going to be a teacher, you might as well just get ready for everyone in the community to know who you are. This could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on the type of educator that you decide to be. So basically, when you enter into a school and you take on the job of teaching the children, you are becoming a major part of these kids' communities, their day-to-day life, everything that they have going on. And as a result, you're going to find that you're going to have a lot of neighbors' kids. You're going to have everybody in the community is going to come through that school. And if you are there for an extended amount of time, the likelihood of you actually running into some family members and friends of the is going to increase. So they're going to know you because you would have taught the cousins and the brothers and the sisters and the friends and everybody. So you need to take this very seriously as you enter into the field of educator. This gives you an increased responsibility in terms of how you carry yourself when you're out in the streets and you are an educator. As an educator, I always try to make sure that when I went out in public, I presented myself in a certain type of way because I never knew if I would run into my students. And I didn't want my students to see me in the grocery store and I'm in there just acting any kind of way or looking any kind of way. So, and that having that type of perspective did pay off because there were times when I went into the Walmart and, hey, Miss Bailey, and hey, Miss Bailey, and I'm like, whoa, I'm glad I was looking decent today. So you just never know and you never know who's watching. So that's the first thing that I would like to state in this video is to make certain that you are presenting yourself to the public in a way that you do not mind getting back to your superintendent if need be. Okay? All right. Now, the way that your community sees you, you may think that it will not have an impact on you as an educator, but you will actually be surprised in the type of impact that the community viewing you will have. They can impact you, their opinions, by enrollment numbers. When you are an educator, especially like when you're in middle school or high school, everything is numbers. Numbers determine how many teachers will stay at the school for the next year. Numbers determine how many people have jobs at a particular school. Do the teachers need to start looking for another school to teach at, or can they stay where they are for another year? Numbers are critical when you are in education. So if you are a middle school teacher and if you are a high school teacher and if no one wants to take your class because the parents don't like you, that could possibly have an effect on your enrollment numbers in your class, which could in turn result in you ending up going to a different school to find a full-time position because this position has gone part-time. So that is another aspect that needs to be considered here when we're thinking about the effects of being known in the community. It does have a direct effect on you in terms of the number of children that could or could not enroll in your class based upon the community's perception of you as an educator. Okay? Another point that I would like to bring up in regards to being known in the community as an educator is that it's not possible that you are going to have a 100% positive relationship with every single parent that you come into contact with. It's just not possible. Sometimes when you make contact with the parent is going to already be upset before you even sit down, depending on what the child said. Regardless if it's true or not, there are some instances where there's a lot of instances where situations get a little distorted from school to home, and the parent is already upset by the time contact is made with you. So those are some tough discussions to have. Some parents are going to believe what their child say regardless of what you show them, what type of document you have. They're just going to believe their child, or they're going to stand with their child and perhaps deal with the child when they get home. But they're going to still, so it's not possible to maintain a 100% parent loves me record here. But what I will say in terms to that is the parents that do have an issue with you as an educator, it should be small. It should be a very small number. Now, if 95% of the parents don't like you, that's a problem. That's where we as educators have to sit down and take time and reflect. Reflection is very big as an educator. That's how we grow. So if the numbers of the people that don't like you outweigh the number that do, you got a problem. So the number of parents that may have an issue with you, it should probably be like 5%, 1% or 2%. You understand? So, because you're not going to please every single person, no matter what you do. And so you're not going to, every parent that you come into contact with, it's not going to end in a kumbaya moment, okay? But that should be not a lot, okay? So let's just keep that in mind, okay? Now, one way that you can ensure as an educator that you get good reviews in your class, my first thing that I always lean on is my internal peace within myself. If I know that I am doing what's right and I'm being fair to all of my students and I'm giving everybody ample opportunities, that's what's going to make me sleep at night. Now, I understand that that's not going to have an effect on everybody's rest pattern. But as for me, I knowing that I did right by everybody, I was a moral person and upright in front of my students. That's always first and foremost to me. Did I impart some wisdom and some knowledge into them today? Those are the type of things that make a difference for me as an educator. But in addition to that, remaining consistent, being a consistent educator throughout the years will help establish you in the community with your students, with the staff in the school. Being a consistent educator. If you're consistent, they get to know you, they get to know who you are. And then just as with anything else, we know what you're capable of. Now, I don't know. I don't think Miss Beelan would do that. That's a little bit out of character for her. Yeah, she's been here for 10 years. With certain, I don't know, that's very uncharacteristic of Miss Beelan. See, that's when you remain consistent. But if you're all over the place, then it can go more like, well, we'll take a look into this situation. It's, so make sure that you remain a consistent educator with your students, dealing with your parents, and dealing with the staff at your school. Education is always going to come first. I pride myself on having a relationship with my students. But at the end of the day, just because I am the cool teacher, that does not mean that I do not expect for you to get your work done. We will not just willfully fail class. We just won't do that. Education is always going to be first. I know you don't like this. I know that you think that this is boring, but we got to get this work done. And I expect for you to get this work submitted. Do I need to motivate you? Which parent would you like for me to call? Okay, we do not accept failure. By any means necessary, success is always expected. Okay, make sure you're teaching the kids something. If you're teaching them, you can throw life lessons and real moments into your lessons and help the kids to learn a little something more than the how to construct proper paragraphs and things of that nature. Throw some real life discussions and topics in there, and the kids appreciate that. They appreciate that. They really do. And those, I think if you follow those few things, you will be a successful educator. And when your name goes out into the community and you've been at this school for 5 or 10 years, the community knows that your character is somewhat. You don't want them to, I don't want my child in her class, take her out. You don't want that, okay? So consider that when you are going into the field of education, okay? I am Coach Bev. I'm on Facebook and Instagram at Regal Awakening. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube if you like what we're discussing here. I appreciate the time that you have given to sit and listen to this video. If you have any questions or concerns, or if you would like to explore this topic deeper, you can email me at support@regalawakening.com. I'm Coach Bev. Have a nice day.